To the global citizens of our planets, those who know us closely or to whom we are strangers, we Ethiopians scattered worldwide has a noble character, with our loyalty, diligence, humbleness, being friendly and hospitable are our true brand, because we are a God-fearing nation. We also have a distinct blend living in harmony with our fellow Muslim brothers and sisters, who are almost 50% of our nation. You don't see such harmony anywhere else than in a highly populated area composed of mostly the youth in Ethiopia. We Ethiopians have a mind that creates and invents. We can do local and international business that achieves success. If we are working for other people, give us a job or an opportunity is our language. Whether professional or skill work, we do it as if it's our own business. And we deliver its quality being our standard, and excellence is our brand. Your success, happiness, and business satisfaction is our happiness too. For we are achieved, for we are a civilized nation who knows the importance of business in a win-win situation. We also strongly support and advocate the importance of international diplomacy with our country, which doesn't harm our national interest, as well as our culture, history, belief system, our identity and core values based on mutual respect and trust. However, we Ethiopians are betrayed lately by world leaders as well as by world institutions. Such institutions like the Nobel Peace Prize Award Committee for lacking a proper exhaustive assessment to evaluate if their candidate they pick as a nominee was really qualified or not, before they rushed and gave a Nobel Peace Prize reward for a man who has already orchestrated by then assassinations of a man who served our country with such integrity and loyalty, our late military commander-in-chief, General Sa'ar Makonnen, and his colleague at his house, while lots of higher government officials who were men of integrity as well murdered in Amhara region in June 2019, way before the committee have had elected their nominee for 2019 Nobel Peace Award. And as you may all know, we live in a world that's flat, and with all global connectivity, Ethiopia is neither an island in a different planet nor isolated in the global platform. The news spread closer to the speed of light these days, thanks to the advancement of technology. Yet, I felt like the world slapped us with white lies and deception when awarded a criminal murderer to cover up his killings by portraying Abiy Ahmed as a peacemaker, a man who is anti-peace and anti-integrity from day one. Has the Nobel Peace Prize boosted his image of a narcissist psychopath and a murderer through Nobel Peace Prize award? Since his image is important because that's all what he has. As a narcissist psychopath that needs a professional help than assigned to kill our people by appointing him as a leader for different cause. The Nobel Peace offered as a mask for what has been unmasked during the assassination, since the Nobel Peace Award exists to cover truth. The Nobel Peace Committee trashed novelty and its meaning in a dirty trash bin that particular day with all their white lies. They are contributing for monsters to rise up and give their mask to hinder their true version, so that they remain holding the power to harm our people and our planet with destruction. And they do have a part in it for the lack of peace in our country, Ethiopia. History has repeated itself. Alfred Nobel used to create conflicts by creating dynamite that harmed human beings, even though that's advancement of science. It was a damage control for his reputation after a newspaper by mistake announced his days in being heard when people had felt about him, what? In a negative way. To reverse that, he wanted his legacy to be remembered as a good guy, not the bad guy associated with explosive dynamites and the potential to harm others. That's all the Nobel Prize well, aimed at from its start. Well, does the Nobel Peace Prize award keep that legacy the way he wanted it, or brought back history to unfold? Since we know any reward is given to acknowledge and give credit to the person, that in a way is also to encourage and motivate the person to do all the more. Thus, Ethiopian illegitimate leader Abiy Ahmed Ali is kept on doing the killing of our people and all the crimes in Ethiopia inhumanly. The Nobel Peace Prize Award Committee and its leaderships have failed us. This in its entirety is an insult for us Ethiopians, a disrespectfulness at its climax. This is the world we live in. The African Union, IGAD, and the United Nations in their corruptedness stood where the money is. And I personally are disappointed and label them among the few other institutions who betrayed our citizens in our country, Ethiopia, and are responsible for all civilian lives that's lost. When leadership at organizational scale globally betrayed us and exposed us to be vulnerable and harmed, we say it bluntly as it is, because it's what it is. We are betrayed by many and they broke the long-standing relationships that we have built by playing our part fairly, inclusively, and respectfully, standing for peace and solidarity for mutual benefits in a win-win situation. That trust and solidarity has been tarnished in all aspects when it comes to Ethiopia as a country and our citizens being a victim of world crime and human rights abuse. Like the Nobel Peace Prize Committee, the United Nations Director General Antonio Guterres knew the Eritrean sanction is not lifted back in July 2018 because of the peace deal between Ethiopians and Eritreans. Rather, to give a green light to the armed embargo with the ulterior motive for the world criminal and dictator Isaias Afwerki to be the mercenary to destroy the Tigrian powerful force in the north of the country, where it borders with Eritrea, and to kill Ethiopian civilians, as is working for MBZ of Abu Dhabi and MBS of Saudi Arabia. Since that sanction has been lifted, to unleash a criminal serial killer on July 10, 2018, right the next day after the so-called drama of peace deal with Eritrea signed in Asmara, Eritrea. Crime, assassinations, genocide, and massacre became a routine in Ethiopia as of July 2016, after the United Nations lifted the sanction, Eritrean sanction, on July 10, 2018. It was all well calculated as a package list of executions in the conspiracies that planned out selling our beautiful country, Ethiopia, illegally and confidentially to the two Middle East country leaders, Mohammed bin Zayed and Mohammed bin Salman. 2 weeks after the sanctions on Eritrea being lifted, a reputable engineer who led the ongoing project of the Ethiopian Great Renaissance Dam, GERD, has been found dead in his car in the early morning of July 26, 2018. The same day, later in the evening, the appointed leader of Ethiopia, Abiy Ahmed, kicked off to the US, having a celebration party while airborne. This is to deflect the situation. A pattern was already laid by then, like a military strategy to find a common enemy and point the finger at them. at the Tigrians by playing the blame shift for any chaos Abiy Ahmed is causing to this very day. That common enemy is the powerful Tigrian People Liberation Front, or TPLF. The ultimate goal is to crack down their power by mobilizing the entire nation to point the finger at them in order to weaken the TPLF force so that Abiy Ahmed to defeat them and take over the country, since they are the only one who is strongly resisting and remain powerful. Abiy Ahmed did this trick with the Eritrean president together as mercenary partners, so that things will be expedited to control all the country resources, all the untapped natural resources, take over the country to enslave our future. Since the cunning MBZ and MBS are behind the scenes leaders at the background, since this is nobody's but their original dark vision. They operated by appointing a narcissist frontman to be the seeming real leader of Ethiopia. But in reality, it's not. Ethiopian leader since April 2018 is Mohammed bin Zayed. So the UN lifted Eritrean sanctions just to fulfill those two de facto leaders in the Gulf, to recruit Isaias Afwerki for his record that he is a dictator, has the military capacity, and is sharing a border with the TPLF force, homeland stationed. Moreover, the Eritrean dictator have a long-standing grievance towards the TPLF. Therefore, when you connect all these dots, you see the cunning MBZ and MBS want to conquer TPLF through their mercenary Isaias Afwerki and Abiy Ahmed. That's why, since Eritrean sanctions lifted by the UN General Antonio Guterres back in July 10, 2018, the lives of innocent civilians in Ethiopia are falling like leaves of a tree. Therefore, when the UN took the sanction was a plot, laid in advance as part of the blueprint of the conspiracy. It's beyond our mind can comprehend the de facto psycho leaders MBZ and BSR controlling and enforcing world-long standing institutions such as the Nobel Peace Prize, United Nations, IGAD, African Union, and many more to work for them through the kleptopia and the dirty money. MBZ and MBS use their wealth and dirty money as a means to achieve their vision. Because the question is whether a person, as an individual, or a prestigious international institutions will remain to the very core of existence by keeping intact their own integrity or not. There's no in between. Either you remain true to yourselves and to the world, or you serve the evil conspiracy. When you add D on the word evil, it becomes devil. As simple as that. If you fall and bow down to their dirty money, it's a piece of cake. To lose your power and empower them instead. Because anything that doesn't have the truth will harm any society in our planet holistically. Welcome to our real world, full of groupings, conspiracy, lies, con artists, deceptions, manipulations, and betrayals, and killings. But to heal every individual in our planet is important, and it's not a rocket science. It's within your decisive action. Will you stand aside at the corner, watch it to happen? Or will you be the next fellow to become the devil to support and empower the evil? Or will you choose to remain to live out your best version of your integrity? If you go for integrity versus dirty money, you are assured beyond the shadow of death. You are the keeper of your brothers and sisters by protecting your neighbors from the subtle dangerous pandemic virus. Let us together call it COVID-20, dirty money, that denies human beings those either who are weak, considered as a pawn, or those who remain to live by their conviction, loyalty, and integrity, by being considered the only threat for the conspiracy dark vision to fail or not. As a result, the dirty money that's conquering the world is denying people of integrity and the weak who are used as a cannon fodder or disposable. They are taken their rights to live. Their rights to live is taken away from them by weapons, spears, drones, and guns. Sad but true. The question is, which team are you going to join? Do you join the evil for distraction and hurt others? Or do you go all the way at all costs to be a man and a woman of integrity to preserve our planet, where every nation from South Pole to North Pole, from east to west, can live together in peace and harmony? To bring peace to world, it's not difficult. It's not easy either. It's not something unattainable and beyond reach. Actually, it's the other way around. Peace is in your hand, and peace starts with respect. The question is, will you pass this peace to others? As much as you want it to be respected, and as much as you want to have peace, that's vital for your daily existence. Will you give respect to the mankind in any society because they deserve to be respected just for being a human being who has worth and value? They might have little or live as a pauper. They might not have the intellect or literate, but they have a mind. If given a chance to awaken their mind potential with their mind potential within through education, they can have both the smartness and the finance. But in the meantime, be willing to respect them in one condition alone. Respect them for who they are as human beings, who have the right and the freedom to live that's given to them by their Creator. And let's respect that and pass on the peace across the board in our planet. Trust me, it's contagious than COVID-19 or COVID-20. What it takes is what you give to others. That way, the peace we wish to prevail in our world called planet is in our hearts. But if you decline not to participate, we will lose that peace. As I disclose the enigma for you to connect the dots and have the bigger picture in order to know the truth. Nothing but the whole truth. That the reason behind all the chaos, displacement, imprisonments, assassinations, genocides, and massacre that's going on for the last consecutive 3 years, and that's being pushed for a war to outbreak as of last 3 weeks in Tigray, is all about conspiracy that has a direct correlation with the 45th President of the United States of America, Donald Trump. That by abusing his power, that he swore at the oath, and by being illegally conspired together with his son-in-law and advisory Jared Kushner, with that of the two de facto Abu Dhabi Crown Prince Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed and Saudi Arabia Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, in a classified way, they changed the government in Ethiopia by directly and illegally interfering in our political affairs, starting August 2017, and appointed an illegitimate Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed Ali later on in April 2018, who works for MBZ through the US help, since Donald Trump facilitated and accommodated selling Ethiopia as of then for the two Middle East country leaders, MBZ and MBS. Just like that, Ethiopian local politics stopped and maneuvered to implement a cover-up US policy that's made in MBZ. Literally, Donald Trump conspired with those people for Ethiopia to be taken over under colonization before his 4 years term ends. The war that started 3 weeks ago in Tigray is to accomplish to fully take over the country by fighting with the only area they haven't controlled yet. That's the Tigray in the north. For over 2 years, Donald Trump abused his power and directly involved in our political affairs as he backing up to whom he called my friends MFZ and MBS, as they use their mercenary recruited to fulfill their dark vision to colonize Ethiopia, to get rich and prosper, of which Donald Trump will be beneficiary too. That's why the Syria killers, mercenary Isaias Afwerki and Abiy Ahmed, is busy in killing our people brutally since the Eritrean sanction lifted by the UN General Director Antonio Guterres in July 10, 2018. The war, that outbreak, is not a civil war at all. And the war is not about a power struggle or an internal political discord. It is the narration that the US Secretary of State, Mike Pompeo, wanted to portray for the Americans in the world that way, so that the truth will be hidden, as he himself is part of the conspiracy groups who plan to enslave our future by abusing the power the American voters gave them and by depending on the mafia criminal groups' dirty money financial muscles. Therefore, I appeal virtually with my voice for all the International Criminal Court to look into the situation, for all humanitarian abuse towards my beloved fellow citizens both in Ethiopia, Saudi Arabia, and Yemen by those illegal criminal organized groups, and most importantly by what's happening in Ethiopia, and especially right now in Tigray, to give justice, since for the last 3 years we are betrayed and a severe crime is committed in Ethiopia that displaced over 5 million and murdered tens of thousands. And now people have to flood their country and live to be a refugee. They wanted the war to continue since the war is all about colonialism. They don't want to be participators of a peace deal. That's why Abiy Ahmed is rejecting a peace offer to sit down and have a dialogue. Because from day one, their motive is to take over the country. That's why Abiy Ahmed is appointed to take over our country by killing our people in their own yard, at their own house, and everywhere. How can the world fail us in the 21st century to expose us to those inhumane, to the global citizens, to the international society, to whom, as always, we count on and have a heart of gratitude what you did for our nation at the time of our needs by extending your kindness, your heart, and all your resources that made a difference, to impact, give an opportunity for millions' lives to survive, and that gave millions to survive and live to this day, by acting to give life to others, by participating at your best version of giving all you have, your talents, your time, your money, that poured out a heart that cares for humanity. So you're giving at USAID Africa a couple of decades back. As we are in unprecedented situations that we are witnessing when history repeats itself, we need your help again. Since the system failed us, the world leaders and institutions betrayed us and conspired to hurt us, we request to be our voices. We request you to be our voices, that we Ethiopians have a right to live. Yet we are considered as cannon fodders, pawn, or disposable, who has been denied in our own country the right to live, the right to exist, the right to stay alive, that we haven't experienced as such in even a foreign country. Therefore, we don't expect much from the leaders behind the scenes who abuse us and cause us pain that hurts, a pain that's indescribable, full of betrayal, hatred, and revenge, just for being ourselves, to stand for our rights and freedom. Our expectation and hope is in the global open-minded society who cares, respect, and value other people's life. Other people's life has worth and deserves to live. And for all to condemn all the conspiracy, betrayal, and the punishment towards our people, those betrayal that punish our people, because the criminal can't have their own way. This, to condemn all the conspiracy, betrayal, and the crimes committed against us, and to be our voice for justice to be done, as well as for the war in Tigray to stop, because it's not a civil war. This is a war crime. Locking down every communication in every road for people to starve and for people to be attacked in our own sovereignty by illegal mercenaries crossing the border because they are paid by the two Middle East countries and protected by Donald Trump for all the human rights abuse they commit. This is a war crime against our people. It's a war aimed to achieve to take over Ethiopia at all costs by military force that MBZ and MBS supporting it financially in providing weapons. This is conspiracy to colonize us Ethiopians, to enslave our future and make us slaves of theirs. If one doesn't interfere to stop the war in Ethiopia and to protect civilians from mercenaries, well, I can bluntly assure you that the Ethiopian war is not just Ethiopians, it's a global one. If the global community and the respected body fail to stop the war immediately, the conspiracy is contagious, and before you knew it, it will knock your household. So it's for mutual benefits. We appeal to stop the war in Tigray, together with the humanity, kindness for all people who are vulnerable, who are attacked, who are not protected against all those criminals. Stop the abuse, stop the war in Ethiopia before it can affect you as well. If the global, the international society don't wisely participate and take immediate solidarity action to stop the war in Tigray, that's serving the global organized mafia groups who betrayed Ethiopia and want to take over the sovereignty of our country. Before you knew it, as fast as the speed of light, they will come after your own territory because they are controlling the world system with their dirty money to crack the power balance, to disempower you so that you will fall under their dictatorship that hinders peace, stability, justice, democracy, and freedom. They are serial killers of people with integrity. This is a common trait, not just that of Ethiopia. So stand in unity and condemn the criminals who are rising to be monsters. Act now to raise your voices, to interfere and save our people in Tigray and all over Ethiopia. It's pity to read Mike Pompeo's tone on the Hill 2-3 weeks ago that accused TPLF for making the first move. It is so funny to hear the narratives. The Tigrians fought for 17 years and through the communists. In the process, a mother has to lose 4 to 6 of her children who went to fight against the communists. Over 60,000 disabled and tens of thousands died in the war. While those in the city, particularly those who have intellect, have been in a mass imprisonment and never came out from the prison cells. God knows how the communists killed our uncles. We never see them again after the lockdown to imprisonment in 1984. A war, a massive drought, and famine, and imprisonment was a challenge our parents had to deal all at once back in 1984. But they are, as resilient people, strive to be above their problems. During their leadership, EPRDF built the country's military, and now 4 to 5 blocks away, here is stationed a military camp that's conspired by Abiy to attack them. And a two, they can defend themselves to protect the people and to fight colonialism instead, making Abiy Ahmed the nice guy. The world and Mike Pompeo making a fuss to pronouncedly accused and attack the Tigrian People Liberation Front TPLF for making the right and best move available to engage in the unavoidable war and fight with their own terms and conditions, as Abiy Ahmed was circulating a hint at to take a military measure towards the Tigrays through his sponsored media channels. For weeks, those toxic and psychological, intentional hate-filled messages that were projected what you can towards the Tigrians were circulated. Messages that raised a red flag by saying, "Wait and see, our Prime Minister will destroy Tigray in a few days." Or something a more disturbing one that says, "Tigray will be a Pol Pot of Cambodia soon, and they will be destroyed." In the meantime, on October 29, 2020, as soon as the birth of Prophet Muhammad was being celebrated, Abiy Ahmed Ali changed that day 2 things. Number one, appointing a new Muslim general for the North military camp base in Tigray, so that, under his order, to attack the Tigrayans. Number two, forcefully changing and appointing a new priest at the higher position in the Orthodox Church, that Abiy Ahmed interfered in the church structure for his ulterior motives and illegal oppression to be in effect to destroy the Orthodox Church. Mind you, since Abiy Ahmed came to power from his first visit from Saudi Arabia in Abu Dhabi on May 20, 2018, he fired all the PLF